Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Wednesday, the 12th of November. This video is for educational purpose only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It is purely to demonstrate how I try to read the market using technical analysis and my experience. And today let's have a look at Apple. All-time high new close, not the highest price, but the highest close. And it seems very strong, and it's of course lifted the indices yesterday. Nasdaq it couldn't lift that much because it was dragged down by other companies, especially the semiconductor sector that was under pressure. Nvidia was down 3%, but it lifted the Dow Jones and to some extent also the S&P 500. However, the S&P 500 were especially lifted by the healthcare sectors or pharma companies with a massive move of 2.4% here. So there are some companies that really benefiting from a shift in the shift in sector and pushing higher here, and there could be more in store for the healthcare industry and especially some of the farmers that has been pushing higher. But let's go back to Apple. New all-time high close, could push higher, and the RSI on daily has closed above the falling trend line. So it could be there could be more in store for Apple in the coming days and weeks. Also on weekly, there's no divergence indicating likely higher levels, although it's a little bit stressed, but seems to be fairly strong. Nasdaq 100 on the other hand had a fairly quiet day yesterday, actually sitting back a little bit, primarily due to the semiconductor industry, and there was a little bit of setback. However, we are still in this bouncing mode here, and the overall uptrend is intact. As long as we first of all stay above 24,650 and this spike down there and the 55 moving average, but still the key support at this area here around 24,000. Pre-market we are bouncing a little bit though, or after market, and the buyers are still there, it seems. Moving on to the S&P 500 very quickly. We could see that it also had a fairly good day yesterday, closing a tad higher. And the Dow Jones actually closed in a new all-time high. It wasn't the all-time high price, but it closed at the all-time high levels, or highest closed ever. So that was of course also driven by pharma and some other stocks like some of the energy companies, oil and such. So really strong move there indeed. And pre-market we are tad up. Russell 2000 on the other hand, the small caps still, well, it is still holding on, but it is still a little bit lacking in that sense. In the Asian market we had Seng, a new push higher here, about 1% higher, testing the 27,000 bullish trend confirmed. Also we RSI closing above 60 threshold. I think we will see a push higher above the previous peak there at 27,382. We could see higher levels, and if we just try to guesstimate it after this correction here, well, then there could be room up to 28,000 plus. Nikkei unchanged, still in a bullish trend, a little bit stressed with the RSI divergence, so look out for that. I think it could be dragged higher, but if it takes out the spike downs here from last week, then it could come under pressure, but the underlying trend is bullish. A new high, also a new higher close, not a new higher because it was higher there, but on EUROStoxx50, RSI closed just slightly back above 60 threshold, and never was in the negative. So there could be more in store for the EuroStoxx sector here, as EuroStoxx index here in Europe, and there is room up to 5,800. At least there should be that, and I think we could push higher towards the year end. Pre-market basically unchanged, a little bit tad higher. DAX, on the other hand, has been struggling a little bit. Yeah, it was about 0.5% higher yesterday, but still it is lagging. It is still in this bearish trend here. However, we are back above the cloud, above the two moving averages that can't really make up its mind what they want to do. So that will be interesting. Can it be pushed higher? The German sector is really lagging there. It's primarily driven by banks, and there are a lot of banks in the EUROStoxx 50 also. Here pre-market, so we can see it pushing higher, so maybe it is finally also trying to get higher. We need the RSI to get back above 60 threshold to really reconfirm the bullish trend. But what we can see, if we just go back to the cash index also, it actually closed below 40 threshold there on the what was that, Friday, but so we are actually there in a negative sentiment on the CFD here. It didn't do that, so I think we will see it crawl higher here, but of course there can be some volatility if there are some earnings or other new stuff coming in. Euro dollar flirting with the falling trend line, and the 61.8 retracement of this last leg down there, and as I mentioned yesterday, we could see it push up to the underside of the cloud there, but then we have the 55 and the 100 moving average coming down. You can see 100 moving average is about to break below the 100. 55 moving average about to break below the 100, giving it a further pressure. I think we will turn around eventually. Still, there is room to spike up to the 786 retracement here at 116.25. The sterling dollar seems to be rejected there at 38.2 retracement at 131.85, and I still believe we will see downtrend resuming eventually. Negative sentiment, no divergence, indicating lower levels. However, there could be that if it takes out the spike up there at 131.92 here a few days ago, then there could be a push up to 132.40. But in the bigger picture, I think we will slide lower eventually. Euro sterling slowly trying to push higher towards the peak there, and I think we will see it pushing higher towards 88.50 in the coming days and weeks. Dollar yen actually pushed higher this early morning here in Asian session. 154.80 was tested. So is it forming this rising wedge-like pattern here? It's hard to say. Well, it's forming it, but will it do something and then turn around? Well, 152.80. If it takes out that, then we can say it's a rising wedge reversal pattern. But for now, it seems like we are pushing higher, and I think we'll do that if it can push higher here, and RSI can get back above the falling trend line, and especially these peaks here. Then I think we will see higher levels on dollar yen. Euro yen already has formed higher levels, and I think a move up to 180 should be minimum. The Aussie yen also very close to its peak there at 101.20. I think we'll see it pushing towards 102 and possibly higher, especially if we can get the RSI back above the falling trend line. We do have some divergence, but I think it will push higher, currently above 60 threshold, and positive sentiment on the RSI. Sterling yen, well, also pushing a little bit, and I think we will see it pushing to these 204, possibly 205, maybe even higher. It is technically in a bearish trend, but it is turning around, and it bounced from the 100 moving average, and it didn't close this gap area here. If RSI gets back above 60 threshold, then there will be strong indication of higher levels for sterling yen. Aussie dollar currently at the 100 moving average and the 50% retracement of this move down here, and a bounce, but we have some strong overhead resistance up here below the cloud at 61.8 retracement at 65.55 and 55 moving average. So really strong there, and it's still negative sentiment. We could still be stock range bound there for quite some time. Dollar Canada sliding lower. I still believe we will see it down to the 61.8 here at 139.84. possibly dipping down to the 200 moving average and 139.40, the 786 retracement. But eventually I think it will turn around. So look out for that it starts to turn around, because we still have positive sentiment. There's no divergence on the RSI. We are, I think, still in a correction phase. The Sterling Canada sliding back here, and I think the lows here will be tested eventually within the next few days. Maybe if taking out, well, then we are looking at levels around 182. It seems that way. We can see 55 and 100 moving average declining, so they are kind of pushing it down. We are below the cloud. We are in negative sentiment, so I think that's the way it should move. The Euro-Swiss pair sell-off yesterday. I think we could see very soon the 92.50, 55 support area here to be tested if it's taken out, which I believe it will. Again, this is not a recommendation or anything. A lot of things can change, but if it does take it out, then I think we'll see, first of all, down to the 92.35, and also the 92 lows here could come under pressure. Dollar Swiss sell-off yesterday there also, just above the clouds, the 100 and the 55 moving average giving some support there. Still positive sentiment. I think eventually it will turn around, but again, then we have this battle here between the dollar and the euro, and then the euro and the Swiss. So it's which one will give. That will be key here in the coming week or so. Still could dip down to the 79.67, which is 786 retracement, and then a bounce. But really interesting times. But in the bigger picture, higher high, higher low, higher high. Is it a higher low and then higher, or will it turn around here? That would be key to watch. But if it takes out and then turns around and then pushes above here 60, 62 level, then uptrend has resumed. Dollar index still testing this and spiking a little bit below the support here at 99.30. Could still dip lower to 99, maybe even lower down to 98.73, which is 61.8 retracement of this uptrend there. But uptrend is intact, higher high, higher low, higher. You will see this moving on here, and just to reverse it, it needs to get back down here. So for now, we are in a correction phase, and a positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, indicating higher levels on the dollar index. So that's the battle going on, but we are in a correction phase, so watch out for that. On the moving on to golds, strong move Monday, a little bit quiet yesterday, so it's flirting here around the 50% retracement of this sell-off there. RSI trying to get back above 60 threshold. We are still in a positive sentiment, but it needs to close back above to further support higher levels. I think we will get it. I think we will get much higher levels on gold, as long as we stay above 3,886. Then I think we'll see higher levels on gold. Maybe silver is the predictor here. We can see it pushed above the 61.8 retracement of this sell-off, and above $51 and 52.5, 56, which is the 786 retracement, is in sight. Positive sentiment back above 60 threshold is indicating a push to that, and also I think eventually in the coming weeks we will have some new higher levels. Of course, there will be some setbacks and some profit taking, but it seems like that's where we are building a bullish trend. Platinum lacking a little bit, but slowly but surely seems also to push higher. We have this, I wouldn't say a double bottom, but we have a strong support down here, 1490. That is key. So a push up to 1660 is in the cards. Positive sentiment and is indicating higher levels. Copper lacking also a little bit. RSI 60 needs to be broken, and it needs to be pushed back above that if it does, which I believe it will, given that we have this gold cross down here, we are likely to see it pushing higher. On the energy market, and crude oil bounced yesterday, maybe dragged by the US nat gas that has been very strong and on fire lately, so to speak. We have a bounce there, still in below the 55 moving average, still negative sentiment. I think we will slide lower eventually. It's just taking a breather here. So basically what we see is that we have a range bounce or range that needs to be observed. So here between 58.83 and the peak there at 62.59. So that's the range really it needs to break out at for a strong direction. Same here on Brent crude oil, 66.78 to the upside, and to the downside we have 62.84 to the downside. In this area here that needs to break out of. Dutch gas or EU nat gas, well, bounced here from the support, minus support of 30.73. We are, slightly bearish trend, as you can see here. Peaks are moving lower, so we are in a slightly bearish trend, but there is some stronger support down here in this area, 30.73 and down to 30.30. So that's the name of the game at the moment. It doesn't seem like it's going to explode, and it doesn't seem like that the US nat gas strong bullish move is affecting it at all. You can see here above 450, and there is room up to $4.90, maybe $5, but quite stretched at the moment. Moving on to yields and US 10-year Treasury yields. Well, overall picture, we are bearish here, but also taking a breather in this correction here. If we move back below 405, downtrend is likely to resume, and 416, 417 up here as a resistance, but the strong one, key one, is actually 420. The European yields, and then we have them here. Well, setting back after being rejected up here, just below 270, spiked higher. I think we could see it sliding back a little bit to the 260 area. The UK, massive drop yesterday, again, and this morning, this support there at 437 seems to come under pressure, and then we don't really have any strong supports, and that's quite interesting. Thinking about the UK economy, how it's going. Let's have a look at the 30-year, more or less the same picture also at bearish there. On the other hand, we have the Japanese 10-year still holding on in this bullish trend here, but it needs to take out the peak here at 171 to further confirm bullish trend, and I think it will do it eventually. Finally, the crypto market and Bitcoin set back yesterday, but I would say this range here between 107, 650 and 98, 900, that it needs to break out of. Could be range bound here for some time. Ethereum rejected at the 50% retracement of this sell-off there after the bounce, so could also be range bound down here to 3,055. All right, that's all for today. That was a quick one. I have to rush to a meeting, so you have a nice day. Keep charting and be careful out there. Have a nice day.